The last example we're going to look at, we're going to look at both departments for an entity. So we have a treat company that makes cakes. We're going to look first at the mixing department, then we're going to transfer items to the mixing department and look at the baking department after those items have been transferred in so we can see a complete process calculation. So we're looking at the mixing department first. We had 500 gallons at the beginning of the month that were partially complete. That was our beginning work in process. During August, we started 11,500 new gallons of batter. And at the end of the month, we had 600 gallons left in our work in process. So we're going to fill those in here. So we started with 500 gallons, partially completed. During the month, we started 11,500 new gallons. So our total gallons during the month were 12,000. Our ending work in process, 600 gallons. So our units transferred were 11,400. Now we subtract those 500 that were partially completed, and that will tell us the ones that we did 100% of the work on during the month, are started and completed. Once we have that filled out, we're ready to move to the equivalent unit calculations. So first we're going to finish those 500 units. These 500 units were 100% complete for direct materials. So when we started the month, they were 100% complete. We do not have to do any work this month to get them to 100%. They're already there. So our equivalent units in the direct materials is 0 for beginning inventory. For conversion, they were 30% complete on August 1st. So to complete them for conversion, we need to do another 70% of the work to get them to 100%. So we're going to take our 500 units times 70%. Our started and completed right here, 10,900. And now our ending inventory. We have 600 gallons in ending inventory. These are 100% complete for direct materials. Means we did 100% of the work in this month. So 600 times 100% is 600. We're 25% complete for conversion. So we would take 600 times 25%. We add up our totals. And that gives us our equivalent units of production. So we have 11,500 for direct materials and 11,400 for conversion costs. Now we're going to calculate our cost per equivalent unit for cost in August. So our direct materials costs for August were $34,500. And our conversion costs for August, $22,800. We take our costs divided by the equivalent units, and we get a cost of $3 per unit for direct materials and $2 per unit for conversion costs. Now we're going to record the transfer of that 11,400 gallons of mix to the baking department. So we'll have 11,400 gallons of mix times $5, because we add 3 plus 2, we get $5. That's our total cost. And we transferred 11,400 gallons. So our cost that was transferred was $57,000. what is part of that cost? We have $1,800 we had in beginning. That's what was in our account at the beginning of the month. We have 1,800. That was our beginning inventory. Our August direct materials is the amount of work we did in August. So these are only the ones that are 100%. So in August for direct materials, we have 10,900 that we did 100% of the work on. So we're going to take that 10,900 times our $3 per unit. For conversion cost, these are the units we did 100% of the work on, and then additionally we finished the beginning work in process. So we're going to add this 350 plus the 10,900 started and completed. We're going to take that total times $2 per unit for conversion costs. We add those costs together, and that is the 57,000 that we transferred to the baking department. Our ending work in process, we have 600 in direct materials and 150 in conversion. So we're going to take 600 times 3 and 150 times 2, and our total ending work in process inventory for the mixing department is $2,100. Now we're going to look at those 11,400 gallons we transferred to the baking department, and we're going to finish those in the baking department. So the baking department already had 600 cakes in process at the beginning of the month. Then they received 11,400 gallons from the mixing department. Need another zero. Meaning the entire month they had 12,000 units that they were working on. Their ending work in process was 500 cakes. We're going to subtract out those 500 that aren't finished at the end of the month. And we transferred 11,500 units to finished goods. Now we'll subtract the 600 beginning work in process, and this gives us the amount that was started and completed in August. Okay. Now you'll notice here that we have a third column. These are the transferred in units from the mixing department. Okay, so when we're the second department, we also have this transferred in column that we have. So the transferred in units are already 100% complete for the mixed materials. So we're going to put 0 on that. We don't need to do anything to the beginning. They were 100% complete from the mixing department. Okay. But we're only 80% complete for frosting or direct materials. So we need to do 20% more work this month to finish them. So for direct materials, we're going to take our 600 beginning units times 20%. That's what's left to finish. They were 40% complete with respect to conversion. So we need another 60% of work to get to 100%. So we're going to take 600 beginning units times 60%. The started and completed is the same all the way across. And the last thing that we need is these 500 ending work in process. So the 500 ending are 100% complete for mixed materials or transferred in. So 500 times 100%. We're 75% complete for direct materials. So we're going to take that 500 ending times 75%. And we're 10% complete for conversion. So we'll take the ending 500 times 10%. We add up all of the rows, and that gives us our total equivalent units. So we have 11,400 for these transferred in from mixing, 11,395 from direct materials, and 11,310 for conversion costs. Now we need to apply our costs. First, we have the cost of batter mix transferred in from the mixing department. If you remember, we transferred in $57,000 from the mixing department. So $57,000. Our direct materials costs during the month were $34,185. And we have $67,860 costs for conversion. We have our equivalent units we figured in the previous step. And to get the cost per equivalent unit, we're going to divide the total cost by the equivalent units. So we have $5 for mixing, $3 for direct materials, and $6 for conversion costs, or $14 per unit for total units. Now, if we were also going to record the journal entry for transfer to finished goods inventory, we would debit finished goods inventory and credit, make these rows a little bit bigger, and we would credit the baking department work in process inventory. We transferred 11,500 units, and we calculated a cost of $14 per unit. So 11,500 times 14 is $161,000.